Well, that's what the goal was tonight, so I'm very, very proud. Defensively, I thought we were a little shaky at first, but you could see they got organized. That's one of the best teams, I think, in the league. Going forward, their football is very, very fluid, a lot of movement. They move players around a lot, so it was very difficult, but I was very, very proud of the defending.
You were able to get Rufat on the ball in the middle of this back to goal tonight, something that you mentioned earlier this week. Was that the game plan going in?
Yeah, well, if you noticed, every time we got possession, I think the first 5 or 10 minutes we were doing kind of like we did against Orange County, moving the ball side to side. But I started to see AJ and Corey start to look for John and Sam a little bit more, and that opened up the space behind them. And then when we could find Solo and Rufat in behind our 10s, we get really dangerous. But tonight, the biggest thing was about when they make a little mistake, how fast can we go? And I thought our goals were some of the best transition goals you're going to see. And I thought Junior was spectacular. And what a goal. If that goal's not up for goal of the week, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
Coach, offensive, the three forwards scored tonight. How do you feel?
So it's supposed to be, right? Like I said, a Junior's individual effort to beat two players and to curl that in. I mean, we see it often in training, but, 30 seconds before that, he took a 80-mile-an-hour ball right off the chest, runs down the field and does that. He's a man, and I'm really proud of him. He's spectacular. Rufat worked so hard. It was very hard because we changed our pressing system a little bit this game, where he had to press both center backs and running left and right the whole game. I think about the 85th minute, he came over to me and he said, "Coach, I'm done." So he did everything. He got his penalty, was fantastic. And Solo, what can you say? Big players score in big games, and that was a good finish for him.
No Zach today. Where was he?
So Zach, yesterday we had Zach and Landon Carter both had a little bit of a stomach flu, and we had to quickly test them for COVID just to make sure, so we kept them away from the building. We got the results back this morning, but both players still had some residual ill effects. We were holding off as long as we could, so we didn't put him on the injured list, but we couldn't let him come into the building just as a risk to the other players.
What did you make of Eric's debut tonight?
I thought the double save was spectacular. I mean, everybody's going to be talking about that, but a little shaky on some corner kicks early. I don't think he's used to our lights and this facility a little bit. It was kind of a challenge for him. But he rebounded, he was focused, he stayed in it the whole game, and when he needed to make a big save, he did. So I'm happy for him because he's been working very hard.
You guys were able to control a game against a team that usually loves playing at their own tempo. How are you guys able to do that?
Well, the start of the second half, I think our guys were trying to draw them out a little bit more, make sure that they're attacking us and opening up space behind, because we had said Junior and Solo, you're going to get more chances behind them. We just have to be patient. So I think they were surprised that we were willing to pass it around the back as much as we were. And as they started to come forward, we were trying to look to get in behind. So I think they were nervous. Their center backs were a little nervous that every time we got the ball, they dropped off. And that creates space in the midfield. But Sam, I think Sam Stanton was out of gas, and so was John. So I'm really happy the subs came in and stepped up and made a big difference. But yeah, when they have the ball, they're spectacular, and defensively, I think we're not a bad team on the ball either. So,
Coach, we saw earlier this week a couple of games that have already been suspended. Of course, LA Galaxy being on in our group. Is there any worry about the league finishing this season?
No. I think from what I understand, there was some kind of gathering, and so one of the things that I've asked our players to do is after we take our COVID test, they have to stay away from each other, and they have to go right to their apartments. They have to only come here. They go to the apartments, and they have to be very disciplined. And because we had some positives early in the season, before the season started, these guys understand how serious it is. They don't want to miss 10, 15 days because you can lose your job and the health factor as well. So I'm not worried. I think USL's been spectacular with the protocol. And as long as all the teams follow the protocols that we're supposed to follow, I think we'll be safe.